What is one way you combat racism on a daily basis?
I don't cater to white comfort and white rage, or black complacency within white supremacy. I am a firm believer that you teach people how you want to be treated. And too often we allow the media, movie, and TV, the film industry, to feed us these images of how society should operate. For example, when we're looking at these movies such as Roots and Rosewood and things like that, and a lot of other videos that presents the topic of race, we see how these people act and how these people are treated. And there's a sense of awkwardness and now conditioned mindsets that certain things are okay and that operating in certain ways is okay in certain spaces when it is not. We don't have these conversations after these movies have been watched and these visuals have been seen. We don't have a conversation about boundaries and what that looks like for certain people. Because while some people allow certain things, there are some people that absolutely do not. And there are some people after seeing these visuals that are afraid to speak up and speak out. And we have a lot of these conversations behind closed doors. And the people that need to be present within these conversations are not present. So we keep continuing these cycles of disrespect, overstepping of boundaries, because people are not having these conversations and building their own relationships. We allow media to do that for us. Instead of us talking to one another and addressing these issues, we allow people to throw their temper tantrums and be passive aggressive and narcissistic, and we let people get away with a lot of things. We choose silence so that we don't stir up trouble or start conflict. But the conflict and the trouble was already started when the person overstepped boundaries. The troublemaker is the person who initiated the disrespect. And too often, we hold the victim accountable for the initial actions of the offender. And most of the time, the offenders go without any accountability or a slight tap on the hand for fear not to stir them up even further. We tell the victim to be quiet and let it roll off of their backs. Pay it no mind. Be silent. Just accept that the offender, that's just how they are. Walk away from the situation. We mentally traumatize the victim in these situations without addressing the offender and holding them accountable for their actions. And I'm just absolutely not going to do it. It seems we can understand this when it comes to children. And even in some cases, some children are allowed to get away with their behaviors without being accountable. And they grow up to become adults who don't respect boundaries. And that's a lot of what we're seeing in this world today. So even when I mention that people may have mental health issues, that's not a scapegoat. That's not an excuse for them to keep doing what they're doing. What I'm saying is we need to call it what it is. And while we can sympathize with it, we need to also hold it accountable.